the hour dedicated to talking about all things strange, weird, and paranormal. You are listening to Strange Talk, broadcasting on 1660 AM in Northside and 91.7 FMHD2 WVXU in Cincinnati. We're also streaming at radioartifact.com around the entire planet Earth. I'm Alex, as usual, your host.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Josh.
And Josh is our guest tonight. You play in a band called Swamp Hawk.
Swamp Hawk.
Yeah.
That is true. That's
And you got a bunch of songs that are sometimes about monsters and stuff.
Also true.
Yeah. So the intro track to this episode, as always, is our Strange Talk theme that was made by the ever lovely Star Silk. And tonight we are going to kind of talk a little bit more about some more pagan kind of Yule traditions. We've got some Krampus Market stuff to talk about. We also have some strange news to talk about. So maybe let's start there.
Yeah, let's start with the strange news.
We haven't done any weird news in a little while. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on in Mars. A new study was published in the journal Scientific Reports, has pinpointed the location of an impact crater where a massive asteroid crashed into Mars, triggering an 800-foot tall tsunami. 80 foot is very different than 800 foot. So they think that, obviously they found a lot of signs that there used to be water on Mars, and they think that this asteroid strike set off like at least one of the multiple mega tsunamis which blasted the ancient Martian surface. They think the asteroid was about 5.6 miles across and generated a force equivalent to 13 million megatons of TNT energy.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I know. Well, and this doesn't really say anything about it, but I kind of wonder if that's why there's not water on Mars anymore. It just all disintegrated.
I mean, it is quite the impact.
Yeah.
Did it say what side of Mars it hit on?
It says they pinpointed the location. The planetary scientists who worked on the study, the impact crater is named Pol, P-O-H-L, but it did not say which side of the planet. So let me see if they've got a picture here so we can see what side of the planet it is.
Need one of those cool NASA graphics in there.
I know. I love NASA's always like, have this information.
Yeah, they throw good stuff at you.
Their Instagram pages, actually, it's pretty.
It is.
Pretty
it's
cool.
Good. I like it.
Actually, yeah, so this says the first event likely occurred around 3.4 million years ago, and the second likely emerged around 3 million years ago as Mars oceans began to dry up. So you can kind of see here where it hit.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also what it might have looked like when there were still oceans on it. So, really cool stuff. That's not the only thing that is happening on Mars right now. An anomaly hunter scouring NASA images from Mars spotted a peculiar formation which seems to resemble a toppled statue. Honestly, I mean, you can take a look at this for yourself. I don't know if that's a statue or what that is. It kind of just looks like a rock to me.
You know, so having spent a fair amount of time in the southwestern deserts of the United States, I'm going to tell you right now, it looks like a rock formation that is commonly referred to as a hoodoo. It's a small cylindrical rock formation. It looks just like the one that fell over. I mean, you know me. I believe in just about 95% of the stuff we talk about, but I'm going to say I'm skeptical of this one.
Yeah,
I think this is just somebody who's literally seeing images someplace, because unfortunately a lot of the people who are always looking for things on Mars, they look at these photos and they're very excited. They're trying to just they want so badly to find something. So it's like any small weird feature, it's like ancient aliens.
I actually completely get that. So back when we first originally started doing Strange Talk, when it was just on the internet, I was listening to like a lot of episodes of Coast to Coast AM, like the old Art Bell episodes, and we were out back one night and I started seeing these 3 lights in the sky. It was like a triangle rotating around itself, and I had this moment where I was like, oh my god, it's happening, the aliens are here. What do I do? So I ran out front and I'm looking at it, and I start searching the internet where I'm like, what is going on in the area right now that could possibly explain this? And it ended up being a paper lantern lighting ceremony, and I was like,
That's kind of funny you
But
say.
I had that moment where I was like, oh my god, it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually I don't think I've ever told you this story. I called the cops once on a UFO.
What are they gonna do?
Well, hold on, because I wanted to find out what was going on because it buzzed.
Okay.
It buzzed my house, and it turns out it was actually a drone. Somebody was
okay.
illegally flying.
Yeah, that's a big drone.
It was.
Yeah, and that's a massive FCC violation.
It is, and that's why the sheriff's department was actually interested in it. So they actually they wrote it down, and it was somebody who was it was a commercial sized drone, and you could actually hear it.
I bet.
So we never actually were able to get an estimated size on it, but when it got close enough, it was like I called it in because I'm thinking this is a drone, but they had to file it as a UFO report because we didn't know what it was.
Super love the idea. The cops show up.
Unidentified.
They've got like a rifle and they're like, "Where's the UFO? We're gonna shoot it." And it's just like, what is that gonna do? It's a giant metal thing in the sky.
Well, back when I used to cover police and fire radio, I was covering Chicago one night, and actually I did get to cover a UFO call from some guy who's clearly is on drugs or having mental health issues. But Chicago cops didn't miss a beat. They just like, yeah, which way is it going? And they're just like, yeah, I'll send somebody out there. So it's like.
It's probably their 70th weird call within just that half-hour view.
Oh, the stuff
stop calling us about the UFO.
The stuff Chicago cops have to listen to is the UFO is normal. Like I covered Chicago PD radio for like almost a year, and that was mundane.
Back to our statue here. They're saying it looks like a face. I guess it was a UFO researcher, Scott Waring, noticed it in Curiosity's photos back in early November. I think actually the new documentary on Oppie just came out too, Opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm prepared to watch it yet because I think I'm gonna get really sad. It's weird how we as a society can pack bond with a tiny little robot in space.
There was actually an article about that where one of the NASA engineers wrote about like how he has all these family photos with his kids and the rovers like in the background because they were visiting his workspace. So he was like, it feels like a second child. It's part
of the family. I mean, they programmed that robot to sing Happy Birthday to itself. Like clearly, they were attached to the robot and.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it through that.
Yeah, no, I'm going to cry through all of it. I mean, like, I got attached to a butternut squash that's in my kitchen because Joe drew a face on it, so, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to eat him either.
I know, he's cute and very menacing.
A little charming.
He's kind of charming.
To weigh in on this rock formation, by the way, I didn't say anything yet, but I get where you know, your imagination takes over a bit, but it does just look like...
It does just look like...
I'm going to go pile a rock on that one.
It honestly looks like Utah, if I'm being 100%
It does
honest.
look like Utah. Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking, like, it looks like something out of Zion National Park.
It kind of reminds me of, like, this, the Horgon from Star Trek. That they, it kind of looks like that to me.
That is so, oh my god, that's so random. Okay, is that TNG or is that Deep Space Nine, the Horgon?
Both, actually, because it's for the Leisure Planet Risa. That's their Jamaharon statue.
Yeah. I remember the episodes.
Which is probably the nerdiest thing I might have said on the air. So, you know, here we go. There's that.
It's okay. This is why it's called Strange Talk.
Yeah, you can get nerdy on there.
Actually,
I was expecting it.
Speaking of nerdy,
go.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Our episode next week is going to be really awesome. It's going to be super awesome. We're actually going to have Barry from Sandwiches of History on the air.
Okay.
It's going to be we're going to talk sandwiches for an hour. So next week is sandwich talk.
I come back for that.
Well, actually, we're gonna come up with a recipe for a strange talk sandwich. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. It's going to be weird.
You know, we need to release like a limited edition waffle iron that has Krampus's face on it with the Strange Talk logo.
That'd be good.
I mean, we need to make like a proper logo first.
I don't know.
It's just whatever I happen to make for that week.
Just keep rotating it.
I mean, this is what I do.
I feel like your sandwich has to have like food-colored bread for sure. Some
like
those black buns from Burger King. Like,
I don't want to ruin
like
anything or like ruin any surprises, but I'm thinking I got this little tiny waffle iron that makes pumpkin-shaped waffles. So I think I'm gonna use that to do the outside, so it's like pumpkin-shaped. Because that's like nice and spooky.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's the small piece of the puzzle.
That will be an ongoing adventure that we will discuss more when the time comes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was Barry said we could reach out to him if we need some sandwich advice. So we'll see what we come up with.
But while we're on the subject of weird marketing things, we have a Krampus Market coming up.
We do, and that's actually part of why we had Josh on for this episode. Is you designed a really super cool flyer for it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was talking with Lindsay, the owner of Villainous Gaming Pub here in Lexington, and she was telling me they were going to be doing this, and I just really wanted to be involved. And then we decided it should be a Krampus-themed event because that's just a lot of fun.
And that's, all the weirdos like us love that. So.
Is this your first portrait of Krampus?
It is. It is. I was thinking, I was trying to decide how I wanted to do it. I didn't know if I was just going to do a big face, which is what I ended up doing, because it just fit that space so good. I was originally going to do like an actual, I'm making this character moving like anybody can see me. But like, I was going to do like a full-size Krampus character, but I don't know, just doing the big face just really appealed to me, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, there'll be some, I'm also a part of this art market, so I'll be selling some goods and prints and stuff, along with a few, I'll have some posters for sale and I made little postcards of them as well for sale, so that'd be cool. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of good artists to come check out, a lot of good vendors. So
yeah, their Halloween market was really cool too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who had like fun cryptid stuff too. So, if anyone's bored, definitely check it out. Also, that bar is just super awesome. Yeah, they got board games.
For our listeners who may not know where it is, where is this going to be held?
It's at Villainous Gaming Pub. I believe it's 191 Jefferson Street.
It's definitely on Jefferson Street. I don't remember the number.
I think that's right. I put the address on the flyer. I think that's what it is. It's
that sounds right to me.
Yeah. But so it's this. Well, I don't know when this comes out, but it'll be Saturday, December the 10th, from 6 to 10 p.m.
So that will be this next Saturday.
Yeah,
this is going to be on the 8th.
Oh, cool.
Also, for those of you who don't know, we pre-record these for FCC compliance because, especially when you're talking about UFOs, people tend to drop F-bombs, so...
True that.
But we do host things Facebook Live regularly, so if you ever want to watch us actually be silly on a live screen, that is an option available to you.
And by that, I mean sometimes we drink weird seltzers on Facebook Live, and it tastes like bog. So.
That was miserable.
We kicked off our first episode back last week by drinking. Urban Artifact makes some really good hard seltzer. These were their trick or treat hard seltzer, and there is 2 tricks and 4 treats in there, and one of the tricks tasted like bog. It was truly disgusting. So that was a good time though.
So now that you've done one Krampus artwork, do you think that you'll move on to doing other cryptids, or is there anything else in particular that you're thinking about drawing that's related to that?
Honestly, like my free time in drawing is kind of hindered these days just from a pretty stacked workload. I was just happy that I got to do this. It's something fun, but I did enjoy doing it. So yeah, I could see myself kind of making more of a theme out of it since having the opportunity to kind of like put some focus into it, But yeah, I'd like to do more. I think it'd be fun.
And also, just Josh is a killer designer, so
yeah, it's an awesome art piece. Did you? Is it acrylic originally, or was it acrylic sketch?
No, it's all digital. It's all digital.
Okay.
Yeah. I work 98% of the work I do is all on an iPad.
Yeah.
So
no, that's awesome.
These days, that's the way you got to be able to keep up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I can keep up with my workload for everything else I do.
That's why I switched to digital photography. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We're actually going to play one of your songs. Oddly enough, about space. We're going to hear Leash by Swamp Hawk, which is about when they sent Laika into space. Poor little Laika.
I
we're still here talking with Josh about... We're actually going to talk a little bit now, actually, about more like kind of Yule traditions. We talked a little bit about that before with Alyx on our last episode. And actually, Alyx was on that last one that we played, so... Yeah. Very, very talented. We know a lot of very talented people, honestly, straight up.
When we were talking to Alyx, one of the things that she brought up briefly along with the Yule lads and the Yule cat was the amazing folkloric character Grilla.
Grilla, who is the Yule lads' mom.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's originally depicted as a giantess in 13th century compilation of Norse mythology, the Prose Edda. Then there's not really a specific connection to Christmas until the 17th century, but she's enormous and she's very, very hungry.
Yes. Well, I was going to say, I think she's kind of related because she is almost kind of a Krampus-like figure because she has an appetite for the flesh of mischievous children whom she cooks in a large pot. Thank you, Iceland.
Yeah,
Iceland's got the best stuff.
there's a lot of children cooking in some of these Germanic and Scandinavian folklore. It's kind of interesting.
Look, if you want to behave, just tell your kids that they will get eaten by a giantess if they do not.
And you will be cooked in a giant pot, which is somehow actually I think almost more terrifying than like the oven of Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel got they ended up not really being in the oven for that long. I don't know. Which would you prefer? Would you rather be in a giant oven or in a giant pot if you were to be cooked by a...
Well, I'm trying to place myself in the moment. I'm gonna go giant pot.
Giant pot. I feel like...
At least the top's open.
I feel like the pot, as long as you're in
the
there
water's
as the water's heating up, you won't notice as much that you're boiling alive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a horrible question. The answer is none of the above. But I think I'd have to...
if you had to choose.
I think I would go with the pot for one reason. Because there's not very many folkloric accounts of people having miraculous intervention after being shoved in a giant oven. But there are lots of stories about saints and other folk heroes who get dumped in a boiling cauldron where the cauldron can't cook them for some reason. So, low odds.
Okay, that's way too logical.
Low odds, but best bet.
So you were mentioning, I believe, I am not even going to try to pronounce her husband's name.
Oh, Lepaludi.
Okay, yeah, he's characterized as lazy, and he mostly stays at home in their cave while she's out, cooking.
Yeah.
Honestly...
Boiling the children's.
No, she does eat them. I was like, wait, does it even say she eats them? Because it'd be really funny if she just cooks them and
Just
then
boils them and just tosses them back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, and his name may be Lepaluthi. I'm not entirely sure because there's a specifically Scandinavian character here and how it's spelled, but that's my best pronunciation. My apologies to my Icelandic-speaking friends.
I just want to say thank you to Iceland for having such absolutely just fun, bizarre, just Christmas folklore. You can see here kind of like how they do Krampus festivals. People sometimes dress up as them, so that's Grilla and her husband just people dressing up yeah, we're giants.
I want to go to one of these. That looks so fun.
I
Field
want
trip.
one, we
just need to have the Strange Talk private jet, so after we go see the tow captain, we can go to Iceland.
Or, I don't know who needs to hear this, but, somebody needs to plan a, Krampus parade and a just Yule Lads parade, just folklore, weird Christmas parade.
Krampus Yule World Tour.
Not to jump back to just the market in general. I don't want to just keep talking about myself.
No, but please do.
No, but I was just where we live here in Kentucky. I was hanging these posters around town. I'm like, I hope nobody tears these down because they're gonna devil stuff or I was envisioning that. Well, I hung them at the Gray Line Market, and I was a little afraid that.
I would hope most people by now would know about Krampus, but
I was just afraid, maybe some very
if
religious white moms might tear them down. But
this is why we need to have a Krampus parade to raise awareness of the Krampi.
Correct.
If they tear it down, the only proper response is to then, start up a GoFundMe and put it on a billboard outside the freeway off New Circle, because that's the only way to raise awareness.
Apparently, they can put all their stuff on billboards. Why can't I? Just saying.
That is the beauty of billboard propaganda.
You take one poster down, and then she'll take its place.
I actually have something in all this Icelandic folklore that I can pronounce. So, the husband we're talking about, that's actually her third husband. And the cave where they live is in the Dimmaborgir lava fields, like the name of, that metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, apparently that's what they're named after, and I never knew that.
I can't.
The lava
I
fields.
can't hear that without thinking about Doug Dimmadome, and that's. I'm sorry, that's where my brain is right now.
Also, when Stranger Things with it hinted at Demogorgon stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that got in my head too.
The Dimmaborgir lava fields.
So that is interesting. I mean, I think the fact that she has three marriages, and that this is clearly this is so
And
defined.
they have a house cat that will come and eat you if you don't get
Like
clothes
I
and
wanted,
wear them on
I want
Christmas.
backstory on the first two husbands. Like what happened?
Well, apparently they have a bunch of other kids, and
Look, man,
nobody talks about them.
Third time's the charm. Everybody knows that.
My mom is on the third time, so yeah, apparently.
I mean,
Speaking about their Yule cat, this is not your average. This is not your average house cat. The Yule cat is a huge, vicious creature who hunts for people who either have not received new clothes for Christmas, or, and perhaps I think actually far more terrifying for those of us who grew up receiving strange Christmas clothes, people who are not wearing their new Christmas wool outfits as a gift from family or friends. So it literally seeks you out if you're not wearing it. That's
it's
terrifying.
a very specific
Yeah, it's like,
thing to be sought out for.
oh, you're not wearing grandma's Christmas sweater?
Well, we were talking a lot with Alex about how Iceland really relied on kind of their wool market, so that kind of makes sense. Where they're like, you better appreciate these socks you were given. So yeah, you gotta.
And I always appreciate socks. I mean,
I did not when I was a kid,
Of course,
and
as
I've
I've gotten
to err
older, I'm
my
like, how
ways.
dare I be so ungrateful
Socks are
as a
great.
child?
Apparently, it looks like a lot of the folklore behind the Yule Cat was used as an incentive for people to process the autumn wool before Christmas, so there would be enough to actually create warm clothing, because it does get very, very cold up there in the winter.
Oh, I'm just reading here because it's got a section on popular culture, of course. Apparently, a 2018 holiday episode of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is like the gritty reboot of Sabrina,
Yep.
has Grilla and the Yule Lads in it.
Yep.
I had no idea.
I believe one of the Yule Lads is actually in the Sandman series, also by Neil Gaiman.
Did you guys watch either one of those? Of the Sabrina or the Sandman?
I haven't. Sandman has been on my list of things that I've been interested in, because I generally like his other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of
I haven't
American
seen it
Gods.
either, yeah.
I watched the Sabrina one, and it's really similar to Riverdale. I don't like Riverdale.
I've never seen that either. I haven't seen a lot of stuff, I feel like, but I feel like there's also just so much, it's hard to like...
Riverdale is wild, I swear, because Hillary and Mallory watch a lot of Riverdale, and they will tell us the plot, and I'm always like, I swear they're just pulling random events out of a hat and going, make this work in the plot. I
I'll be
can't
honest, I
tell
don't
when
even
they're
know what
telling me
Riverdale is.
plot points whether it's real or if they're messing with me.
Got it.
It's weird. Sabrina is a little more cohesive, but I still don't think I like it very much.
Yeah, it's gotten kind of mixed reviews, So.
Also, I mean, just Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, I mean, I was going
She
to
was
say...
really good in that role.
I mean, that was... I grew up in the 90s,
Right.
That was Sabrina's time for me.
Yes.
Well, I feel like it'd kind of be like if they did a Buffy reboot, it just wouldn't be the same.
You could not do that without
No.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Also-
not for me anyway.
I really love that Sarah Michelle Gellar in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies is basically just Buffy. It's like Buffy just
Without the intro song, just...
sort of pre her becoming really fully into being the Slayer,
Yeah.
where she's learned to fight, but she's still really into overly into shopping and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason you can't do both,
Yeah,
Kill vampires,
I mean, she made it
Go to
work.
Sephora, Have a good day.
I can't say anything else without saying spoilers from Buffy, but also if you still haven't watched Buffy in 2022, I can't help you.
Yeah, you're not going to do it if you haven't.
If you haven't, just do it. There's no reason to put it off. I have no idea how we got talking about Buffy.
No, it's
All
fine.
roads lead to Buffy.
All roads lead to Buffy.
Well, I mean, a lot of these stories, they show up in popular culture and in movies and stories and film. So that's not that unusual. I mean, Buffy draws on a lot of different types of folklore.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
they make a bunch of stuff up too, where they radically reinterpret things. But some of it is still based on, you know, ancient folklore or, you know, medieval grimoires and demonology and stuff that's interpreted in their own universe's way. Which is fun. I mean, it's a great point for people who are curious about this type of stuff to, you know, get curious and actually read the source material and learn about it. So I think it's a good thing that it's actually, you know, as popular as it is.
Yeah.
Certainly. I don't think I would know about the 13 Yule lads, and who can live without knowing about pot liquor. You know, you gotta have pot liquor.
Pot liquor is a household name.
Like, I mean, honestly, it sounds like it should be a metal band, but that's just my opinion.
Pot liquor.
It may be.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably. If it's not, it soon will be.
I mean, Swamp Hawk is our band name because it's just.
Yeah, what's the story behind the name Swamp Hawk? I love that.
The only reason why I say that is because like it's so hard to find a band name that hasn't already been taken.
Yeah.
And so I don't really even remember how we landed on that, but it was mainly because it was available, I think. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And we used to be kind of like more of like a country rock band when we first started. So
we were talking about your first album and how wildly different it sounds.
Yeah, so it evolved into like, you know, being the heavier stuff that we do now. But the name worked for both, so we were like, that's fine.
I'm glad that it did work for both.
We'll keep it. That'll do. But yeah, no, that's how it goes. So yeah, you're saying that it's like it probably is a band because people are running out of ideas.
I know we've made a lot of jokes of getting a show together that's all of the Swamp and or Hawk bands.
There are quite a few around here.
It would be fantastic. All Swamp, all Hawk, all the time.
Mm-hmm. You get that shirt made.
You're gonna get some weird Florida energy with that. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, you know, that's the
Swamp Hawk does sound like a Florida thing, doesn't it?
A Swamp Hawk is a real bird too. So it's like it is a specific type of hawk. I don't know what makes it different from other hawks, other than I guess it hangs in the swamp. But
I feel like that I've probably seen one then because I'm from Florida originally.
You've definitely seen a swamp hawk out there in the world.
Florida man spots hawk in swamp, calls it new form of bird.
I mean, it is a pretty lazy name. Like, this hawk's in a swamp. Guess what its
name
is?
It's like a pretty like brilliant name though, actually, because it's nice, it's simple, it's clean.
Yeah, plot twist. Like the swamp hawk is actually like not a proper hawk. It's some type of other like large bird of prey or something, like a small eagle or something.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the 13 Yule lads. This is such a random transition here, but I have something else to talk about. That is the number 12. So I feel like, I don't know, that's a bad transition. Whatever. I'm trying to make it work.
Okay, so we just have to have the bumper music. What's that Muppet? The
count. That's what I was trying to make. I was trying to like figure out how to work the count into there. It just didn't happen. I'm doing my best here.
How many nights of Christmas? 12 nights of Christmas.
Transition.
Try. No. What is 12 in German? 12. 12. So this is a German tradition. In Germany, they have what is called Rauhnächte, which is the 12 nights in between Christmas and the New Year. They kind of count those separately from the rest of the year because they call them the darkest nights of the year. And basically, during that time, especially, you know, like with the Christian tradition, like they would just consider that like you're just waiting for the next thing to happen.
Does it come with hold music?
Hold me?
If you're just waiting for the next thing to happen.
I wish it did. What would your hold music be for Rauhnächte?
I mean, what my hold music would be and what it probably would be are probably two very different things.
I want it to be the Jeopardy theme.
I feel like it'd be that really weird song you were humming earlier today.
That was the song from The Little Mermaid that randomly got stuck in my head earlier today.
See, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. Okay.
I honestly thought that was just something that you made up.
No.
I actually think it was funnier when I thought it was something that you just made up.
That's actually, this is just like fully just getting wildly off topic here.
Yeah, let's
but
regroup
we've had
here.
some weird things happen while driving in the car recently. Yeah. So we were in the car and we're driving down the road, and I look over and see someone dressed like Elvis walking down the street carrying a guitar, and you entirely missed it.
And I don't understand that. I don't
know how you didn't see. Like, it was a bright white suit with a blue shirt underneath, white tie. He had like the thing around and like a full like hat and everything. I really thought I was losing my mind for a second if he hadn't.
I was gonna say, I was really hoping that only one of you saw it and be like,
no, it was the two of
king
us
in the room
and
with
he
us
just-
right now?
Like, well, I mean, what? I'm not saying that he wasn't. I mean, what if you actually had one of the, like, you know,
one of the Elvis sightings.
an Elvis sighting, a modern Elvis sighting.
We tried to turn around to go look too, but there was a barrier so you couldn't turn back left. I was very disappointed.
I mean,
I couldn't tell if he was dressed like Michael Jackson or Elvis. Either way, I mean,
you may have actually seen the king.
Maybe we did.
Like, now we're gonna have to go and we're gonna have to do research to see if there's any like relation between that road and Elvis.
I don't think there is. Anyway, yeah, that is so just wildly off topic. I needed to bring that up at some point because, like, that just... I don't have an explanation for that. I really don't. Like, it might have been some guy just getting off from, like, some jazz performance and just walking home. But it was so cold. Why were you walking home with your guitar in that cold? Looping it all back around, though, it being cold, darkest nights of the year. Getting back on topic here.
Well, those 12 nights are also often associated with some very, very broad folklore about the wild hunt.
Well, and that's what I was going to finish talking about Rauhnächte, so we can talk about the wild hunt after the break, because the origin of Rauhnächte, the root comes from Rauch, meaning smoke, since smoke and incenses are important during that time of year, and others believe it comes from Ruch, meaning wild or hairy, from the wild beasts who roam the woods and mountains. And the beasts roaming the mountains were part of the wild hunt. But, on that note, we are going to take another quick break. We are going to listen to a song called Orphic by Swamp Hawk, all swamp, all hawk, all the time. And then we'll talk about the wild hunt.
I'm making that shirt.
Welcome back to Strange Talk. All swamp, all hot, all the time.
We've decided this is our new show. What do we call it? Show description? Actually, this is now
New show tagline.
Swamp Talk.
Swamp Talk. There we go.
No, it's got to be Hawk Talk.
Hawk Talk. Oh, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, the best part of our band names is dumb things we can say with it. It's
Well, it's part of the fun.
Actually,
I
you
mean-
all have your own tagline too.
which one?
Do it, Doomdo.
Oh yeah, we have Do It Dome Dome.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty used now. I feel like that's made its way into. I don't think I can say that was our thing, but
Yeah, but
still,
it's
it's
like kind
fun.
of your shtick.
Yeah.
I mean, naming a band is part of the fun. I'm part of a really stupid like electronic music project. It's called Alligator Heist.
I love that name. That's
So-
perfect. And it's right in our swamp theme too.
Yeah. Yep.
I actually have a spreadsheet of a bunch of fake band names that we've come up with over the years where like somebody says something in a sentence and we go, oh, that's my new like whatever band. I have a spreadsheet of about 200 plus of them over the years.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking just like based off of all the stuff we talked about tonight that Krampus Divorce Court would be
Krampus Divorce Court would be pretty good.
would be amazing.
That's a good band name.
Krampus Divorce Court is pretty good. Well, we were talking last time with Alex. We were talking about how Krampuscore needs to be a music genre, and I was like, I think we're a Krampuscore band now. I don't know what that means, but like definitely some sleigh bells in the background.
You beat me to it by a second. I was like, sleigh bells are definitely involved.
You said beat me to it, and I was like, beat with sticks because Krampus.
Yeah, that's the lead singer has
The
to come
drummer has
out
to use
like
birch
thrashing
wood.
with birch sticks, you know.
The whole bit.
Oh my gosh. What is Fawn Fables? They played this show in Lexington. It was really cool. And they do a lot of like really folky songs, and one of them was talking about this creature, and this guy came out all dressed in it and was like prancing around, and so I'm picturing that where it's like part performance art, part, just.
Well, I mean that's the best. That's the best time. I think groups like Hai Lung, and I think Nitland, they do stuff like that. War Bruna also, I think, does that.
I really love things that are like way like overly high concept of just like you went like way like maybe too far with this, like in a good way where it's like this is over the top.
Gets the attention though.
It does. It's fun.
And people come back for it.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean,
Because
I
it's
think
an
that's part
experience.
of why Ghost is so popular. I could take or leave their music, but like they do it like way over the top, so people are into it.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why. I mean, I'm kind of with you on that. And I'm not hating on anybody that likes Ghost. Ghost is cool.
Totally cool if you like it. I don't
it's
dislike it. It's just not my thing.
I feel like it's almost more like theater.
Yes.
I'd want to see it more than I would listen to it. I feel like.
Yeah.
But
Well, their music videos are interesting. Like, I find it's very specific. It's very unique.
they have cool record covers.
Yeah, they've got like some really good branding going on there.
But since we're talking about alligators and all swamp all the time, or all hawk all the time,
all manner of creatures and
All the time.
let's talk about the wild hunt, because that is actually something that is it's pan-European. You can find it in England, you can find it in France, Germany, you can find it in Scandinavian countries, and it's very blurry as to what its origin is in Europe, but it's probably goes back pretty far. So in some places, the leader of the wild hunt is believed to be a historic deceased king. You have stories like that with like Herne the Hunter in England. You have places where the head of the wild hunt is believed to be a goddess figure like Nick Nevin in Scotland, or the Cailleach.
you have no idea how excited you just made me that you know who Nick Nevin is.
And Nick Nevin is often conflated with another, or is considered widely to be a fairy queen. And in several places it is believed that
Nick Nevin is usually an unseelie fairy queen.
Correct.
Which
yes.
is way more fun.
But in many places, it is considered that the Wild Hunt is run by a fairy king or queen, whether that be Nick Nevin or Mab or Titania. You have fairy kings like Oberon, or in some cases, there's one reference. I don't know if he's ever referenced as leading the Wild Hunt, but he is referred to as Christ Sunday. And then in Scandinavia and in German-speaking countries, it's actually Woden or Odin who people believe leads the Wild Hunt. And it's debatable exactly how the transition went from figure to figure in different places. But the general idea is that this group of spirits that are usually associated with the dead, whether they're the recently dead or the restless dead, that roam through the world and collect souls at that time of year. And it's
you
often...
have to be careful that time of year. So they actually have a whole bunch of rules to try to avoid the wild hunt. Some of them, like, you west out of a barn with doors on opposite sides at night because the hunt could sweep through and take you. You weren't supposed to do laundry. So you just 12 days, no laundry. Here we go, New Year, finally you get clean clothes. How we were talking about smoke before for Rauhnächte, smoke and incense in the home and barn, like frankincense, myrrh, juniper, pine, all that good stuff. You'd burn that to try to keep them away. You would try to kind of keep things clean because everybody knows that demons and ghosts love disorder and are comfortable in chaos, is what this says, which is hilarious.
That's actually I don't think that one's a traditional one.
Yeah. Well, I think that's more tied to how people go on a cleaning spree for Christmas, having their family over and stuff.
Yeah.
And
different type of demon right there.
They were also into fireworks and noise because that was supposed to drive the spirits away. So they bang pots and pans together.
Banging pots and pans is a classical apotropaic measure against spirits. And what's interesting too, I believe, if I'm remembering this right, that the German figure of Frau Halle or Mother Halle was one of the people who was considered to also potentially lead the wild hunt, and her whole thing was actually keeping order in the house and rewarding good behavior. So in some places, people would leave out offerings for the wild hunt's leaders so that they would sort of look kindly upon them and move on.
Frau Halle, sometimes she would accompany Wotan.
Yeah. There's different variations in different parts of it. So it's a very interesting and very deep topic that's way more than we can cover in the time that we have here.
But honestly, I really want this. I want a big parade like this where it's people dressed up like spirits running through the town, people banging pots and pans. It would sound so fun. Because apparently, some Austrian villages still hold the Perchtenlauf there. So Perchten would be people dressed in furs that kind of look like Krampus, or this Schnabelperchten. So they would wear ugly masks.
Drink.
Yeah.
Schnabelperchten.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that.
Or a band.
We should make a Schnabelperchten. Schnabelperchten cocktail. Or maybe Urban Artifact can make a Schnabelperchten beer. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting branch of folklore, and because every region, even in England, stories of the wild hunt that you'll find in Cornwall can be wildly different than stories that you'll find in other parts of England. And Wales has its own take, Scotland has its own take, the Orkneys, and then obviously Scandinavia and Germany have very similar but very different takes on it. So it's an old idea that is usually associated with the end of the year and connected to Yule as well.
Yeah. I have one more thing for us here today. So I shared on our Facebook page, which, by the way, we have a Facebook and Instagram page if you want to see a bunch of weird news stories, because I'm always posting just weird stuff that I find, because people send me all kinds of weird stuff, honestly. I have one friend that very specifically always sends me everything that he possibly finds about Bigfoot. It's awesome. But one of the things that I was sent recently, a friend of ours is putting together a zine, uncannyvalleyzine.gumroad.com. You'll see that I shared on our Facebook page recently a cute little Mothman on there. and they're putting out a zine. It's probably going to launch probably around New Year's. So this is it's a queer horror zine, so it's focused on queer and trans people making art, contributing to this. They sent me kind of like an early copy of some of the stuff that's going to be in there, not everything, but it's pretty cool. Actually, I'll show you all a little bit. This is the one that I shared on the page. Cute little our moth friend, and then there's some stuff about it. You got some lagoon creatures and just kind of fun stuff.
Oh, that's rad. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
so it's put together really well. I'm super excited about it. All of our listeners who are into monster stuff, it's going to be right up your alley. And again, that's the Uncanny Valley. You can look them up. Again, uncannyvalleyzine.gumroad.com. They also have Instagram, the Uncanny Valley Zine, Tumblr, the Uncanny Valley Project, and then Twitter at screen_queen. So you can find that sometime around the new year, in the middle of Rauhnächte. So yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for coming on and talking about fun Yule stuff, talking Krampus,
Thank you for having me.
talking swamps and
Hawks
and creatures. And
yeah.
We have a lot of catchphrases now. I'm excited about it.
I cannot wait to buy my first all swamp, all hawk, all the time T-shirt. I will buy one, 100%. I will buy 3 probably. So I can. And people look at me, well, what does that mean? I'll be like, if you have to listen to understand.
You gotta talk some strange if you want to understand all the swamp and the hawk and the time.
True.
Well, I'm Alex.
I'm Robin.
I'm Josh.
And we're Strange Talk, signing off. Good night.
And good luck.